Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. The first two teams officially confirmed into the Champions playoffs. One of those teams absolutely would be considered a surprise coming into the tournament. FNS gives his reaction to NRG's remarkable win against DRX, but also some reveals just which team they want to play in the next round, which team they want to get revenge on if that team even makes it to the playoffs in the first place, because right now for the Americas, it looks like NRG could be their best hope. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Plenty we're going to get into today. Few roster things to start off with. Some rumours around Team Vitality that potentially Pal is going to be heading up their perspective from a coaching side going into next season. He's been with a few different orgs over the last couple of years, and well, it looks like he might be stepping in there. So we'll see. Vitality, there were rumours they were talking with a number of coaches. We're pretty sure that they will be staying with Durka and that they will be staying with Les. It's not exactly guaranteed, but Apex tweeted this out, and Durka says, when are you going to try Valorant? And then Durka says, after I win champs next year, will you at least try one game? And he said, you know what, fair enough, that is a deal. So it's still Vitality for Durka right now. It's still Apex for Vitality, obviously on the Counter-Strike side. So there makes some degree of sense here that probably Durka does not expect to be going anywhere next season, given the rebuild that Vitality will be looking to do. There were a few rumours floating around. Ari did tweet this out, but this then got deleted. So make of it as you will. But anyway, he had Pal as the head coach with Durka, Les, Jampi then joining with Profek and then Sayonara. So kind of interesting. I don't know when Sayonara turns 18. Of course, he spent a couple of times with another couple of teams. But anyway, that was one of the rumours, that Durka, Les, and then maybe Jampi joining, Pal as the coach. So we'll see if that goes anywhere or exactly what they decide to do. But a couple of rumours, and yeah, the update on the spreadsheet anyway is as follows, with Kicks and Safe likely to be gone, Durka, Les to stay, and then those other three players that we mentioned getting linked to some extent with that team going into the upcoming season as their starting roster. But let's talk about the drama in Champions yesterday, because, you know, this has big implications going forwards here. PaperX, they got the win. This shouldn't come as an overwhelming surprise. Alex was actually furious at a time for the way that they threw away some of these rounds. But look, they played Gen.G. It wasn't clean, but PaperX, they got the job done. 2-1 over Gen.G in the end. They lost the Ascent 13-11, and to be fair to Gen.G, they gave this a damn good go, right? And I don't think that Sentinels will feel as bad now about the way that things transpired, or maybe they will be even more concerned, because Gen.G beat Sen the other day, and also, if Sen want to qualify, they will have to get through them again, right? And that could be a problem. The Lotus was then 13-10, again, probably winnable. And then the Sunset, PaperX then started to take over something at a really good final map here. So, you know, Gen.G gave it a good go against PaperX. It wasn't good enough in the end, but this was the series that really turned heads dramatically, right? And this was remarkable to watch unfold, because many of the fans were like, damn, NRG, they looked like America's best chance because they at least won their first round game, but they're now getting smoked by DRX. It was 13-4 on the first map of the series. And then, as time went on, they then had to make a big comeback on the second map too. They did win the Corrode in the end. Wasn't a particularly clean map of Valorant, let's say, but they did bring the comeback. And people during that Corrode, when the NRG guys had a significant disadvantage, were saying, oh, you know, here we go again, Pacific on top, America's, like, you know, floundering as always, and all this stuff. And then NRG made the comeback. They won that game to Corrode in remarkable fashion. But then all those things I just mentioned, they happened again, right? Because it was the same story on the Lotus. And I mean, I'm remarkably impressed by the resilience of NRG, because when you're down 4-0 and then you get 1v4'd, I can't, like, there's not many teams on the planet that can find a way, like, even not in Valorant, right? Like, there's not many teams that can somehow find a way to regain from that, right? Because it's an outrageous way to lose this round. You're down 4-0, you're gunning down 5-0 with a ridiculous, like, choke job. I mean, it's absurd that Bayon won this, and it really, really impressive, right? It's actually great to see this guy come in deliver such a good result. But the fact that they actually brought it back for that is so absurd to me. So I wanted to share a couple of clips here. FNS reacting to that, FNS reacting to their eventual comeback, but also s0m's perspective on how they managed to do this, and also who they want to play next.
Scuba to take the fight to them, not allowing them to settle. But Scuba swings out onto the site, covers
it's beautifully played. It's beautifully played.
And Brock gets another
It truly is gorgeous.
Bane, a 1v4. Good luck. That's 2. 9 bullet. Oh! Bane does it again! The Red Bull clutch as DRX steals another one away.
Who is this guy?
Freeing.
Adam again.
He falls.
Adam!
Not against 2. The young star looking to push NRG there. Questions about when
GG.
they die.
It's GG. Sam the closer again.
Sam
closes again.
NRG proves that you
Bruh,
cannot.
they can't be beat. I'm telling you, they can't be beat.
For the very first time
Oh my God.
history.
They actually cannot be
to
beat.
The champs playoff stage.
Yo, DRX cannot believe that. They legit cannot believe that.
7-0 at the start of the game. It looked like they would be going out with a whimper.
Every NRG game, actually, there's only been 2. Both NRG games have been the 2 best games that we have seen this entire time in champs.
And that is a superpower to have on the global stage.
Yeah, thank you for the 5 gifts, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. I have to gift. Give me a sec.
So even though we're down 7-0, we win one round, one yell, everyone's yelling. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's just that whenever one person thinks we're still in it, we're all still in it.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
I'm Adrian from The Spike. So firstly, congrats on the win. That was amazing to watch. I have a question for s0m. So you've been with many various iterations of NRG, but none of them have looked as mentally resilient. And as you guys, I mean, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of questions about just the insane comebacks you've had against EDG, against DRX. We're just kind of wondering what you would say is so special about this team that has allowed you guys to make these comebacks. Marty, you have something to say?
Honestly, I think like everyone on the team is like so responsive to all the energy I give, and same with Adam. Adam gives off a lot of energy, and everyone on the team, it's not like it's being transferred to one person and it stops. So whenever Adam yells, it transfers to me, to Ethan, to Scuba, to Brock, and it's like a chain with this team. So even though we're down 7-0, we win one round, one yell, everyone's yelling. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's just that whenever one person thinks we're still in it, we're all still in it.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
And yes, okay. The last question is for s0m, because you play a lot of international tournament, but this is your first time in the playoff of champion, no? And NRG first time too. And the question for you is, which of the other teams in the tournament is the main rival for you in the playoff?
I'd say I'd probably say G2. I want a rematch for the last time we played them, the last 2 times we played them, and I'm ready for them.
Do you want revenge versus G2?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations for the win.
Thank you. Now we are going to take another question here in the room.
So NRG, in remarkable fashion, make it through to the playoffs. DRG, or DRX, sorry, will be pretty gutted about the way they lost here, right? After winning the Haven 13-4, the Corrode was then 13-11. Again, at a time here, this was 7-4. It was a 5-0 half. It was a 5-0 advantage early on. So, you know, DRX had a pretty solid lead. NRG then won 5 in a row to take it 13-11. But then the Lotus was even more outrageous, right? A 7-0 start. NRG again bringing it back on the brink of at least, you know, going to overtime or something. But Brock had a mega final map here, and NRG got over the line. So, yeah, crazy stuff. NRG advanced, and as s0m says, not only does this give that team a huge amount of confidence, but also they want to play G2 in the next round if they get the opportunity to do so, or at least they want to get revenge on G2 when they get to the playoffs, because, you know, the playoffs, the way that they're going to seed it based on the, you know, let's say regions of the teams that advance and stuff like this. But as Hector Rosarius is, of course, also known as Frost, which I thought was kind of a nice thing to say, because we know that him and Termi, it could have been Talon here, right? Talon could have been at these World Championships, but in the end they fell short, and DRX did eventually qualify. And look, DRX looked pretty impressive, they continued to, so it's not like they shouldn't be here or anything. But as Frost says, look, they didn't choke it. NRG just clutched up and played really well. Lots of rounds decided by narrow margins. You know, really it was determined by who had the slightly better defensive side on the final map, because, you know, the offense was looking pretty good. Frost says no one had control of it, so it was kind of nice for him, you know, to defend. He could have just jumped on the bandwagon and roasted DRX for a major choke, but he didn't. He held his tongue to some extent. But yeah, as Marder says, I didn't hear no bell, right? The game's not over until it's over, and as he says, we've got to be the most entertaining team to watch right now. And yeah, no doubt you don't want to miss an NRG series on this evidence. As Ethan says, couldn't be more proud of my team. They've made it officially to the playoffs. A big result of NRG, and I think many of us kind of saw this coming. I think the changes they made were strong ones. They've made some good progress recently. Even getting to the World Championship was a very impressive run they made to get there. Of course, they would have liked to beat G2 in that finals. They didn't. That's why s0m and the guys want their revenge. But, you know, I'd said before the tournaments, I didn't have them getting out as the first seed, I don't think. But I did have NRG getting out of this group, and they have got out of the group. And I think many also did have NRG making it out. But it's difficult to imagine exactly where we're going to go from here, right? So NRG made it through. They're playoffs bound. They've got quite a long time now to wait and to watch and to wonder who they're going to be playing next, because these are the other relevant games. So, NRG are through, DRX drop down to the decider. They will play the winner of Liquid and Edward Gaming. That game, the deciding game, happens in 4 days' time on the 22nd. Tomorrow, we get starting with the losers decider games, which is XLG s0m and Liquid versus Edward Gaming. But today, 2 more big games that will determine the other teams that have qualified. Of course, PaperX are expected to make it. I think the Liquid were probably expected to make it here, and after Liquid lost, DRX were probably the favourites in that series, but it's NRG that got the job done. But these are the 2 deciding games. It's Aspas versus Alpha, right? It's a final boss versus final boss. Going to be exciting. MIBR versus Fnatic. Look, Fnatic are going to be the favourites in that series, but I don't know. Like, before the tournament, I had this feeling that Fnatic were going to get out of the group as the 2nd seed. So, I don't know. Maybe a masterclass incoming. And then Heretics versus T1. That's a really great series, actually. On paper, I'd think that I would lean the way of Heretics. At least the Americas are going to have some representation, of course, in the playoffs. It is going to be with NRG, but it's not exactly a guarantee that even G2 will make it through that losers bracket. They would certainly be favoured to do so, but, you know, G2 got 2-0'd by the Heretics. I think G2 will be hoping that Heretics beat T1, and that G2 can then beat Demon 1 and then beat T1 to make it to the playoffs. So, intrigued to your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.